Hi, this is Ennis from Never Stop Trucking. We're talking about hours of service today, about logbooks specifically. I just want to explain to you some basics about the logbooks. You probably don't need to read them unless you have access to the carrier's ELD system, the ones you're working with, or the owner operator. But then also this might help you in booking loads in future, so you can decide if the driver can make it or not. But then even if you have access to driver's logbooks, that would be even better. And then after some time, after you guys gain some trust between each other, you can ask the driver to have access to that, and then you don't need to call them and ask every time where they are, what they're doing, how many hours they have left. Then you can see everything there, what they've been doing and what they can do. Okay, so let's just go over there right now. Before we go, I want to tell you about 3B Logistics. If you are a driver, owner, operator, you're looking for someone to dispatch, you can speak to me, you can email me. The email is in description of this video, and we can work with you, and just contact me here and send me some info. It will come to me, and then we can set something up. Okay, now let's go back to work. I got one logbook here. This is Keep Trucking, now called Motive, and you also have their link in description. If you are willing to sign up with them, you get $100 gift card from them. But let me just go here to the logbooks for this driver. Okay, this is my brother and I just wanted to show you some of what he has been doing. Okay, so today is May 22nd, 2022, and his last logbook here that I have is from May 20, so that's 2 days ago. Now he's at home. So next time he goes back to the road, then the ones from 21 and 22 will show up here, because it's weekend now, and he hasn't filled them out yet, okay, because he's not driving. Now it will say here form manner. These are some small errors here. It will say here if something is missing. So when he got back home on Friday, he didn't sign it, but he will sign it. It will come up on his phone, on his tablet actually, on Monday morning, and then he will sign. So when you click here, it shows that it's not signed, and he hasn't even switched to off duty. Maybe he did, but the system didn't recognize it, and it's fine. Once he goes back on the roll Monday, he will just move this to off duty, and then he will get his 34 hour reset. Okay, so let me go back to another day. Like, let me just start May 9th, so that's 2 weeks ago, and this is what he was doing. Okay, so he was off duty, same thing on Sunday, so off duty, and then this came in from Monday morning at midnight, and then it continued like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., all the way to, you see this is 9:30, so 9:45, and this goes, by every 15 minutes, increments here. So 9:45 or so, but it says here exactly, so 9:41 and 24 seconds. So at 9:41 a.m., he changed his status from off duty to on duty. Okay, and this is that right here. So on duty, he was on duty for 13 minutes and 54 seconds. So usually this is the pre-trip inspection. Usually drivers have to do a 15-minute pre-trip inspection. Well, not usually, every time. So before they start, they would come out of the truck and check everything out on the truck, including wheels, brakes, air connections, oil level, fluids levels, and then visually go around the truck and make sure the tires are inflated, everything with the truck is working, the lights, the blinkers, and then there is a procedure about how to check the brakes and all that. We're not going to go into that, but the driver has to make sure that everything is working on the truck before the driver goes out. Not many people know this, but you can also drive a little bit and then do the pre-trip inspection. So for example, you're somewhere where it's not safe, or you're rushing to your delivery or something, you can drive like 30 miles or so, and then once you get to the next safe place, then you can do the pre-trip inspection then. Okay, but usually 99% people do it right away, because you don't want to leave until you made sure that your truck is in working order, okay, that it's safe to drive. Okay, so he did his pre-trip inspection from 9:41 to 9:55, and then that's where he changed the status on his ELD to driving. Okay, so he was most likely going to a delivery, because from the last week he probably picked up on Friday, I think somewhere in Ohio or so. Let me just see. Yeah, if we go back, so this is May 9th. Okay, if we go back to a business day before that, May 6th. So Cleveland, off duty on the Cleveland. So he picked up in Cleveland and then came home. Okay, so we're just gonna go back to May. Okay, so he picked up a load on Friday in Ohio, and now he came home probably someday Friday afternoon or Friday evening. Everything was closed, he couldn't deliver, and they were open. They are opening back on Monday. Okay, this company. So now he got some rest at home and did a 34-hour reset, and now he is going to deliver that load, and that was in Forest Hills, Michigan here. So he drove 17 minutes to Forest Hills, okay, and it says right here, and then he went to on duty right there at delivery, and they were unloading him for 23 minutes right there. So this is that when you click on it, and it highlights it right here. Okay, so this here was the pre-trip inspection on duty, and then driving. The green line is driving, and then he switched the status again to on duty and delivery. Now here notes, not many people also know this, but you don't have to put any notes here. Even when we had those paper locks, I would always make a note like fuel, loading, unloading, things like that. But you don't have to do that, okay? And DOT officers, sometimes they don't like that. But as far as I know, by law, you don't have to have a description of the status. All you have to do is this here, like on duty, off duty, driving, but then notes here you don't have to do. And then he is not doing that either here. So he is at delivery here, and I can tell because I know what he's doing. On duty 23 minutes, and then he delivered, and now he's going probably to pick up here. Okay, so he finished delivery, started driving at 10:36, and he drove for 1 hour and 6 minutes to Cutlerville, Michigan. Okay, and now he is on duty again, and probably at the pickup now. Okay, so he spent the time at the pickup here, 31 minutes, and he got loaded, and then he started driving towards his delivery. And I think, let me see, yeah, he was going to Northeast Pennsylvania. So that's by Erie, Harbor Creek, Erie area. That's where he was going. So he drove for 3 hours, and then he stopped here for 1 hour and 38 minutes in Northwood, Ohio, and then he went off duty. Okay, now this here off duty status, every driver is supposed to after 8 hours on duty altogether, like includes driving, because remember this is on duty, but driving also counts as on duty because you're doing something, you're driving, you're working. Okay, so on duty is not driving, okay, but still working. Driving is also on duty, but it's driving. So these two count, these two lines, driving and on duty, they count towards the 70-hour limit of on duty for 70 hours during 8 days. Okay, so in 8 days, a driver can have 70 hours on duty, and which is 14 hours a day altogether. So 5 times 14 is 70. Okay, so this is what gets counted into that. Okay, whenever driver goes to sleeper berth or off duty, that does not count towards that 70-hour limit. Okay, so this is all working. Driving, on duty. On duty just means unloading, loading, getting fuel, doing the pre-trip inspection, things like that, where the driver is actually working but not driving. Okay, so the driver is not resting. Okay, driver is working, doing something. So off duty means that the driver is not working, means driver is resting. So every 8 hours of on duty here on these two lines, driver has to do at least 30 minutes off duty to rest, okay, to get some rest, you know, not work, you know, it cannot be loading and unloading, getting fuel and driving. It has to be, you know, anything else, like being in your sleeper berth, you know, laying down, getting out for a walk, eating something, getting a shower. Okay, it means you're not working, you're resting. Okay, so driver did that for 1 hour and 40 minutes, got some rest, and then started driving again. Okay, and then, you know, here a driver could have technically done 30 minutes here of duty, and then did something like, if you have to do something else like getting some fuel, then driver could have done that here too, because he had more than enough time. He could have done 30 minutes of duty resting, and then the rest here, the hour and 8 minutes, he could have done something else while at the same stop, you know, for example, getting some fuel, or maybe even when they are loading and unloading, what they can do is, like, if they're loading for a long time, then they can log those 30 minutes as being as resting, okay, while they're loading and unloading. So, for example, they're doing 2 hours of loading. A driver can switch the status here on the logbook. Here, you know, put in here hour and a half of loading, for example, or maybe like 30 minutes of loading, and I'll tell you why. So do 30 minutes of loading, and then here go to 1 hour and a half of off duty. So that way the driver did two things, or three things actually. So driver saved some time towards that 70-hour limit a week, because if had the driver put 2 hours of on duty here, those would count towards the 70 hours for the whole week, and then the driver would waste that hour and a half that he could have put here to off duty. Okay, so this way driver is saving hour and a half for the whole week. You know, driver can, you know, save that if he needs it, you know, down the road, like next few days. Okay, so driver saved some time like that. Second thing the driver did is driver got that 30-minute rest, you know, that they legally have to do, and it doesn't have to be every 8 hours. It can be before hours. So let's say driver drove like 3 or 4 hours here, okay, and now the driver can do those 30 minutes rest on duty, and that will driver another 8 hours here to do more on duty. Okay, so now the driver, had the driver been on duty the whole time, driver would have to, you know, in next 3 or 4 or 5 hours stop and do the 30 minutes. This way the driver has 8 more hours with, that, you know, where they don't have to stop and rest. Okay, so the driver did all that that way. Okay, but anyway, here, so the driver was off duty, and then the driver started driving again, and then driver stopped here for on duty. So we don't know what the driver did here. Maybe got some fuel, maybe checked something on the truck, and then driver went on duty a few times more. Maybe like even a rest stop. For him it doesn't matter because he's not driving that much. He never goes to those 70 hours a week. So he could, for him, it doesn't really matter these small things. But probably he could have went off duty at least one of those. Okay, maybe one of them was fuel. And then the other one could have been off duty, but for him it didn't matter. It was only like 8 minutes. Okay, and the driver went to got to the delivery here in Northeast Pennsylvania, Harbor Creek, as it says here, and then the driver dropped the trailer so they can unload it. Okay, so driver got to delivery, dropped the trailer, and then maybe even did the post-trip inspection here. Post-trip inspection is not required, but it's highly encouraged by everyone, and I encourage it as well. If you have time to do it, you should do it. Do the post-trip inspection, because that way you can see if there's something wrong on your truck before the morning. Like let's say you get there, you immediately go to sleep or something, and then in the morning you see, oh, I had a flat tire, and now you have to wait for the service, and you're going to be late for delivery. That way, if you had noticed that a night before, then you could have called someone could have come out, you could have taken care of that before, and then in the morning you're ready to go. You don't have to wait for anyone. So I highly encourage everyone, at least like go out and walk around your truck, kick your tires, look for any potential leaking fluids out of your engine, open up the hood, and just take a visual look at something, just to make sure that your truck is okay, like when you stop at night when you're done driving. Okay. So the driver went on duty and then drove for like 1 minute probably out of the way, and then stayed there in sleeper that day for 3 hours and 28 minutes till midnight. And then as we're probably going to see here, this is May 9th. When you go to May 10th, it's going to continue into the morning. So let's just go to May 10th here. So off duty, it continued until 6:46. Driver got 10 hours, at least 10 hours. It can be more, of course, of resting in sleeper berth, and now driver is fresh. They can have another 14 hours on duty for this day, and that's 11 hours of driving at most. You can have more, and 3 hours of doing something else on duty here, like loading and unloading. So you can only have 11 hours of driving and 3 hours on duty, but you can have 10 hours of driving and 4 hours on duty, or 9 hours of driving, 5 hours on duty. It doesn't matter, as long as you don't go over 11 hours driving. That's a no-no. So if you drive 11 hours of driving, then you're done with driving for that day. Okay, so you can have those 3 hours on duty doing something, but no more than that. Okay, so what the driver did here after the 10 hours in sleeper berth, he logged 22 minutes for pre-trip inspection and trailer hookup. So 15 minutes for the pre-trip inspection, like we spoke like the previous day. So every day you do the same thing, check everything in the truck. So those 7 minutes he used to hook up to the empty trailer, because they emptied overnight. Okay, and we do these loads all the time, and we know the loads, and he does it all the time, and he just knows them. He just goes there and does this every time. Okay, now so the driver went to the pickup in Buffalo here, as I can see, because it was like 2 weeks ago. It's hard for me to remember. But driver was driving from Harbor Creek, Pennsylvania for 1 hour and 38 minutes to Buffalo, and then in Buffalo driver was loading for hour and a half here, okay, so that's this. So the driver could have actually, like we said before, he could have logged only 30 minutes of loading here, and then the rest, the hour here, just go off duty here to save some time on that 70 hours. And then it makes you not having to stop for the next 8 hours. But 8 hours is a lot, not having to stop for anyone, So usually drivers would stop every like 2, 3, 4 hours anyway. Okay, but the only difference is like if you stop every 2, 3 hours and you go to take a quick break, the rest area or something, go to restroom, and then it will take you like 5, 10 minutes that way. But this way you have to wait 30 minutes, even though you don't need 30 minutes to maybe to go to the bathroom, but they make you wait. Okay, so what I would have done here, and he's watching, I'm watching you. Just go to 30 minutes uh, on duty, and then the rest here off duty. Okay, but for him it doesn't really matter because he was probably planning to stop anyway. So driver got loaded, and then driver drove hour and a half again to Harbor Creek, and then did a break for 15 minutes, and he logged it here. But this still doesn't qualify for that 30-minute break because it's only 15. But he went off duty. And then he drove for another 3 hours here to Port Clinton, Ohio, and then he did that 30-minute break here for 34 minutes actually at Port Clinton, Ohio. Then driver drove again, stopped here in Lambertville, Michigan, maybe to get fuel or something, we don't know, and I guess we will never know. Uh, and he went to off duty again here at Grand Ledge, Michigan, 6 minutes, drove, and got to Forest Hills, where he keeps his truck over the weekend on the parking lot. And then he went off duty, and I think he probably went home because he lives here in Grand Rapids. And then in the next morning, same thing again, May 11th. So we spoke about all that. It's pretty much the same. So hopefully this was clear enough for you. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, come back for more. My name is Anis. Hopefully I can bring you more of these videos. I'll see you later.